Beautiful, beautiful. So, where do you get teachers? Because you really, I have seen you write saying that getting a good teacher is a treasure hunt, right? So therefore, to do something like this, uh, you need a fundamental uh, understanding of holistic assessment, right? So because if I'm going to teach you science, again, you're talking about holistic assessment, because the way you approach the problem, the way you address the problem, the way you see the problem, you're kind of observing and actually giving them a holistic assessment, right? So given that, where do you get these teachers, and how do you train these teachers, and how do you prepare teachers, and how do you scale this? So I've got three questions in this. You can answer it in multiple steps.
Yeah, I think that's a very important and the most fundamental piece of it. I think alternative schools exist but do not scale for these two reasons. One is finding the right set of teachers is hard. Then setting up the right training paradigm, if there's one, the right learning paradigm, putting systems around it, right? So conventional schooling, for whatever its education system, for whatever its flaws are, the system is really well oiled. So you have all the tools in place. With alternative schooling, we have to build those, and that's what we're doing too, right? So while we run a micro school, I have a technology background, so we're actually building systems as well, right? We've built something called Zippy, which is a micro school in a box, which really enables us to run everything associated with the school, which is operational, logistics, assessments, everything. How do we personalize this, right? How do we get observations from facilitators and educators? How do we learn from them? All of that in a typical alternative school, it is done by this very exceptional set of teachers who become cultural institutions who retain all of this. But for us to be able to scale this, for us to be democratize and make this more accessible, we have to build systems. And conventional learning LMSs, for instance, we discussed how the structural design of a classroom is so informed by the philosophy. LMSs are exactly the same. The design of an LMS is informed by the philosophy. And if the philosophy is that it's knowledge acquisition, everything is centered around that. But there are systems for it. So it's flawed philosophy, especially given this context, this world's context. But there are systems for that. But what we have in the alternative schooling system is that we want to personalize education, but systems are few and far because no one's building this. So we are actually building that. The new age LMS, which will allow us to be personalized, flexible, and all of that. Now coming back to teachers, how do we find them? So our belief, as the guiding metaphor for us is we have to be gentle guides on the side. Now guides can have expertise, but expertise is not the only thing. The idea is not that we have to get them because they have this pre-acquired expertise, right? We can get them to acquire this on the job, right? So you can learn exploration on the fly. What we've seen over and over again is the most fundamental aspect is that they have to absolutely love spending time with kids, right? That is very important because a large part of the job is literally saying that, okay, I'm going to spend time with kids, learn along with them, almost be able to see the world through their perspective. And this is very important because unless you see the world through their perspective, you're not able to see the problems of the way they are. So a lot of unlearning that is required, seeing that, hey, you know what, this is the old way, but we don't have to do that, right? There's a new way to do this. So if we look at, I think the people that we work with, the people who have really excelled at being educators within our small setup, is really, I'd say it's smart people who have a love for kids, and the most important thing is willing to unlearn the old things and learning along, right? The idea that we are never going to reach a stage where we say now we know everything there is to know about teaching kids, and therefore we do not have to acquire anything else. It's going to be a continuous process because the world changes, kids change, everyone changes. So we have to just keep learning along, but we have to be able to keep using the experience and the expertise that we get along the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of people wonder, hey, they don't have degrees, but degrees come from the old perspective, right? We are rejecting the very perspective that the process of acquisition of degrees somehow equipped you to become a teacher. No, some of them obviously will end up as great teachers, but the mere fact that they have that degree doesn't mean